How we doing? Mark with Workaday Custom Gun Leather again. Here we are. Good news, I was finally able to get some leather under the current conditions we have with the lockdown. Bad news, I still have a small shop, so I have to be careful about how I use the leather, how I manipulate that in such a small space. You see, I can't lay out the whole side. That would really help with yield, but I have to work with it in a roll like this just the way that the shop is laid out. You can see that the top side there has a straight edge. The supplier put a straight edge on the long side for me, and I've cut out 3 belt blanks to save for later to make use of that straight edge. But now I gotta get to making some holsters. I gotta get caught up after being on a little bit of a layoff with the supplies. So laying these out again, like most people, I want to get the most yield, produce the least waste that I can with the leather. So I have 4 holsters that I'm working on: 2 shoulder holsters, a 1-piece fold over, and then a 2-piece, what I call a prudent. So I get those laid out, and then I have to cut off another piece that I can work with on the shop and move around and get around with. So I got those laid off and putting the straight edges on, and then working around the patterns as I go. Because of the limited space, I got to be pretty organized in how I handle each particular holster, keep track of which piece goes with which holster, and keep track of my tools and everything else, as most people do. If you work with leather, almost anything, you know that keeping track of things, keeping track of your tools makes things go a lot quicker. You'll see at the bottom I have manila folders on there. Those are where my patterns are. If you saw my last video how I make the patterns, I keep track of those. The only time those patterns come out is when I'm tracing them out or using them to mark stitching lines or something along those lines. So otherwise they stay there, and then you'll see how I kind of use that to keep track of which pieces go with which gun, which holster, and the matching pieces. See that first holster is already cut out. I'll be waiting to get lined along with all of them. This is kind of a small production run for me, so each one of these holsters is kind of getting the same treatment at this point. The holster I'm working on now is that 1-piece, what I call a sloop, has a slot on the back and a loop to hold that in place. It's 1-piece fold over, maybe a taco design, some people call that, and had the reinforcing strap with it. This one here is what I call a prudent. It's the 2-piece design that the front and back go together. If you look at the complete build I did a couple videos ago, it's basically the same design. This one's left-handed, which always feels like I'm working backwards, but it works out well. So 3 of them cut out, 1 more to go. This last one, as you can see, there's a thumb break on that. This is one of the shoulder holsters. The front pieces are pretty basic. The back pieces, I have those tabs to put the shoulder straps on, or the rig straps on. Get those done, worked out. Now I'm down to workable sizes. Those are my final pieces. Pretty minimal waste with this. There's some small pieces, but I even have some uses for that with the smaller pieces. Get the mold guns out, make sure they stay with them so I know which gun goes with which holster. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, put them in the comments below, and we'll be in touch. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.